Shemayah Bay here with Trudy Haynes and Company. I'm the astrologer, and I'm sitting next to the lovely Vonda Klein. Welcome, Vonda, to Astrology on the Trudy Haynes and Company show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm glad to be here. Did you hear that Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, had a baby?
Yes, I really did hear that, and it was surprising because I've heard you mention on your radio show that it's something called a supermoon. I really am not quite sure what that means, so if you can explain it to me. They said that her baby was born on a supermoon. Now, I've heard of full moons and you know, those type of like half moon, full moon, or that configuration, but I never heard of the supermoon. So what does that quite mean?
Well, baby George is a moon baby. And not only a moon baby, he's a supermoon baby. And what does a supermoon baby mean? Supermoon means that the moon and the earth were in perigee. Have you ever heard that word before? Perigee, pair, come close. So the moon was at its closest point in its orbit to the earth. So it's called a supermoon. And not only that, he was born during a time of a full moon. What is a full moon? Full moon means the sun and the moon are in opposition to one another. Sun is symbolic of the father, and the moon is symbolic of the mother. And they were opposing one another at the time of his birth. So full moons are symbolic of oppositions. So that means that baby George, when he's growing up in his household with the royal family, that there may be some challenges. He might not necessarily agree. He's a little baby right now, but may be some challenges in the home where it comes to the idea of raising. Because once again, Prince William, he's guess what sign? The opposite of you.
Oh, Cancer.
And he's she's a Capricorn, like you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's something.
So if you have no idea what we're talking about, Cancer and Capricorn oppose one another. So oppositions, they can get along very well, like you on a seesaw when little kids, you know, up and down, and then you get mad, just sit in the middle. Then you start kicking your legs because there's a problem. Or you can walk hand in hand. So it depends on the people's personalities if they're going to get along or not.
Okay, well, speaking of Capricorn, what is the ruling planet for Capricorn, and what is the connection? Like, I know there's signs and then you have the ruling planets. So if one is a Capricorn, what would their ruling planet be? And what are the personalities, I would say, or the traits, or what the energy that it holds?
Okay. Good question. The planet or the ruling planet of Capricorn is the god Kronos. God Kronos is the god of time, also known as Saturn, the seventh planet. And so what does that mean? It means that if you have anyone live in a house or an apartment, or do you have a car? So that means they have keys. So the keys to Capricorn would be what? What would be the key word for Capricorn? Do you know?
Well, I do know that because I am a Capricorn, so I use is...
That's right. So Capricorns are known for using I use. So the key for Capricorn is I use. So once again, did I answer your question?
Yes, you actually did. And also, I have one more question. I always hear when you speak about opposite signs. So you mentioned that my opposite sign, which I knew was Cancer.
Correct.
So what would be the opposite sign of Sagittarius? And can you explain some of those? What would one look for if they're opposing that sign? Is it good? Is it bad? What does that mean for some people? Because I knew it was my opposite, but I didn't know what it means.
Okay. So once again, go ahead. Okay. Once again, we're dealing with opposites. So
yes.
What is a circle? 360 degrees, so what's half of 360? 180. So that means that when the planets are making an opposition to one another, so energy goes by the idea of planetary momentum. So what am I talking about? So we're talking about Cancer and Capricorn. Capricorn rules business and Cancer rules the home. So these two energies are opposing one another. So oppositions mean what? To do something differently. So if someone's getting on your nerves, if you're a more enlightened person, that means that you may want to take more time listening to the complaint. Then that way you both can get along better. Normally oppositions, they do get along good if both people are aware of each other's weaknesses and strong points. It's kind of like looking in the mirror. So you might not look like what you're seeing in the reflection. So, but oppositions do get along good, or they can go be opposite. They could be really bumping heads.
So what would I do with Cancer being my opposition? What would my challenges be?
Well, a challenge would be, what does Cancer rule? Nurturing.
Okay.
And it rules the family. and sometimes Capricorns may not. Capricorns are known to be. I'm not saying they're not good people. Not good people, but they're more known to be colder. And the reason being because they're more like marshmallows on the inside, so they have to protect themselves. So they put a wall around them. So Capricorns are known to wall people off.
Wow, that sounds like
good.
no,
That
because
was really
that
good.
really does sound like me. So that's true.
Right.
You know, I do find myself, walling people off sometimes when I go through those periods. So that means a lot to know there's nothing that I'm doing wrong. It's sort of like, well, that's my makeup, I guess you would say, right?
Oh, most definitely. One thing I would say to for all you Capricorns out there, and it's not a diss, but it's also a benefit because you're very structured in the way you do things.
Okay, yeah.
And, Capricorns are known for structure. One thing that you have an advantage over all the other zodiac signs, there's 12 zodiac signs, that you tend to be statistically the longest livers. Yeah, so you're on the Earth plane a lot longer than most other planets. I mean, not planets, but zodiac signs.
Well, that's
yeah,
good news.
thumbs up, right?
That's good news
yeah, exactly.
to know. But I guess your food would have to play a part in that too, as well. So
Oh yeah, I guess if
I can't just be living off of
so if you're
bad eating.
yeah,
So
if you're a little chubby kid and eating a lot of cakes and candies, then you're gonna have an issue. But if you're more mindful, yeah, most definitely.
So I know I have a lot of questions, and I just don't understand when you speak of the languages. So, and I know that's probably in time to come, but what are the key words? We have key words.
Ladies and gentlemen, she put me on the spot.
Oh.
But I can do it.
No, well, I'll ask you this. What is Sagittarius' keyword?
I see.
So what does that mean? Because I hear that they are the high priest, or they have gifts.
Now, why would that be? Because they rule the seventh house. Whoa, bad. The ninth house. The ninth house deals with higher learning, education, foreigners. So they would do really good with foreigners, and also deals with remember the Sagittarius is half man, half beast. So we like to party, and as well as we like to go to the stars, to the cosmic mind. So that's what Sagittarius rules, and their key word is I see. I see into the supermind, and the supermind, i.e., would be God, Allah, Jehovah, whatever that may be.
What do you say when people say this is just hoopla, or the horoscope is tainted and taboo and demonic? And you hear all these negative things about the zodiac and the horoscope, but can you give some enlightenment about it? Like, where did it come from and how long has it been around, maybe to make people feel more comfortable and relaxed with it?
Well, I agree with them. Y'all should not mess with this science. This is a science you should leave alone. Taboo. The reason being because I wouldn't want you to know how to navigate through life.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, it would be a problem if you had became a free thinker and you used God's map in the sky as a way of navigating through life. So I would really stay away from that. But for those that could see beyond my sarcasm, this is an ancient science that goes back hundreds of thousands of years. In the book called Angels and Amulets by Wallace E. Budge, they mentioned about the ancient Sumerians talked about that they observed the heavenly positions, and they noticed that during certain periods of time or the season that you were born in, people had a certain behavior. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient Hindu, the ancient Chinese, they all talked about how the starry patterns or when the planetary bodies were in a certain position, that the people in their community, in their nation, behaved in a certain manner. So if you're a holy roller, and not disrespectful to holy rollers, but if you have an issue with using God's book in the sky for enhancement of your life and betterment of your life, I would stay away from it too.
Well, I thank you for clearing that up, but I don't quite still understand with why it's being... Yeah. Why is it being used? What could one use it for if they are, because a lot of people want to know their love life, their career. Exactly. So I guess that's nothing wrong with that, is it? Is it?
No, I don't think anything's wrong with it. It's all in the perspective of how you use it. Now, if you punch somebody in the eye, then you got problems that come with that. But if you're going to use this particular science, you want to use it as a tool. If you have a smartphone, you have a calculator, it's a tool. So you don't worship it. So the camera's looking at me. I'm on the mic. I'm not worshiping the microphone. It's a tool that I'm used to project my voice so that you can hear it. So what I'm saying to you is this: it's a science. Each planets are like people. I mentioned earlier about the sun being like your father, the moon being like your mother, Mercury would be like your siblings, your brothers and your sisters. Venus, everyone's heard about Venus. That's the goddess of love. And when you're talking about Mars, we're talking about the warrior. So these are energies that represent behavior within our body. And so when they put on clothing, like have a green shirt on, you have a lovely top there. So these would be symbolic of the zodiac signs. So once again, planets are like people. The zodiac signs are the behavior, the actors on the stage, so to speak. So you're acting.
Well, you answered a lot for me, and I have more questions, but I guess I hope you bring me back so I can ask more and get my thoughts together and digest what you just given me, all that information. So I'm going to take that in and see where it leads me.
Well, thank you very much, Vonda. And once again, my name is Shemayah Bey. This is the Trudy Haynes and Company. And feel free to contact us on the screen below. And I look forward to next week. Have a great day.
All right.